great way to start the video. Hello! You guys know who it is, of course, and welcome back to another vlog. You know, waking up this morning, I knew what I wanted to talk about today. This is another day where I just, I come in here, turn on the camera, like I know what I want to talk about. Because, it's a beautiful summer day outside, and, I did have the day off of work today until I got called in. Now, I've only been called in for a couple hours, so it's not that bad. I just got to cover, somebody else's shift for a little while the rotation catches up and everything. But it just, it gets me thinking because, especially when you're not planning to go to work, and then all of a sudden you have to go to work, and it just it makes your brain, it makes the gears in your brain start turning. You start thinking about like life, even just like life itself. Like what is this? Like what are we as human beings doing, like, in a workforce? Like, what is a workforce? What are we getting money for? What are we doing all this stuff for, And, for me, I don't understand it because, to me it calls to mind one of my favorite movies of all time, Office Space. Peter, of course, who the main lead in the movie, he just, when he has this awakening, he realizes that, like, he doesn't want to do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, he realizes that, like, sometimes human beings just want to relax, and sometimes, that's where we get most of our happiness from. It's just kind of like doing nothing and relaxing. That's the best time that we ever have, is when we're off of work, when we're out of school, when we're relaxing, when we have nothing to do, when we're on vacation, right? And, I just love how that movie perfectly showcases, like how Peter thinks, like human beings, are not meant to spend their life in cubicles, in office buildings, staring at computer screens all day, like doing nothing. Like, what is this that we do? Like, and especially when it comes, because office jobs are still kind of, cushy, in a lot of ways, because they're not actually doing physical labor, Of course, it's mental work rather than physical work, something I'm very familiar with being a YouTuber. So it can still be stressful, but, especially when it comes to physical work. I think about physical work all the time. Like, it's like when you think about, like, human beings are still used for, there's nothing really to think about it. It is what it is. Like, human beings are still used for manual labor. We're still doing all these very, very hard jobs that are in turn, breaking our back and our feet and our legs, and we have medical bills because our knees are giving out and our back is giving out, and we have headaches all the time, and we have all these different ailments and everything, and it's just like, and it comes from this physical labor that we do, as a workforce. And, to do this thing where we have to do these activities to get money, like to pay people, but then, think about what we do with the money. Like, where does the money go? Well, it goes back into people who advertise for things. It goes back into things that we need for the home, for car repairs, for gas, for rent and stuff like that. And then we're out of money again. And then we got to go back to work again, and we get more money, and then it goes into our bank account for a little while, and then it disappears again. And so it's like it's kind of strange what we do. It's almost the definition of insanity, doing something over and over again and expecting different results. When you really think about it, because why am I working, right, all week for a paycheck that's not really there? It's not really there because I'm not going to see any of it, really. I'm one of those people that lives paycheck to paycheck. So I see very, very little of my paycheck, very little of my paycheck every week. So why am I working for something that in actuality is non-existent? It's not there because the money's already spoken for. It's like money exists as this invisible barrier between everything. Like, we've got to pay for everything. And maybe, work wouldn't be so bad if maybe we got paid a little more, but I don't know, even then, I still have my doubts about this whole process, because it's just like, I've spoken about this before on my channel, it's like maybe it's time to start training humans to train more machines, to do the job or something like that, because physical labor at some point, I think, has to stop. Like, there's nothing particularly wrong with, like, office jobs and business jobs, being like businessmen and stuff like that, but physical labor has to stop. Like, because we're not, and this, this is not going to lead, people will still exercise, they'll still get out, not all of them, of course, some people will definitely fall into a catatonic state for sure, but people will still exercise, we still go out, it's not like we're going to turn into these lazy slobs, right? We have things to do here in America, like we're behind the world technologically, pretty much we're behind everyone. We need high-speed rails, and we need, solar power and electric cars and all this stuff, right? There's still a lot of things to do, but we can train machines to do our physical labor for us, and then have have humans still there as operators. But the physical labor aspect, I think, is just going to stop, because, think about how detrimental that is to society. Like all of these injuries that we accumulate, right? That's just more medical bills, that's just more time to be spent in the hospital. It's like, why can't everybody work from home? When you think about it, why can't everybody work from their computers? Because these machines, right, that do all of these tasks, all these these physical labor tasks that would be taken over, they can be operated by computers. So then in that sense, everybody could then work in an office building or work at home or something like that, right? Because human beings, we shouldn't be used for that kind of stuff anymore. I think that in this, it feels to me like sometimes there's a paradigm shift coming, like a major paradigm shift in the world, Like we're going to have some huge explosion of technology maybe in the next couple of years, and we will begin to make these kind of shifts, because people don't want to do physical labor anymore. And it's not just physical labor, like think about all the jobs that are really going to be obsolete in the future. You think about jobs like, what's a good example? Like McDonald's, like the fast food industry, right? Jobs that only require you to show up and do one specific task. Well, guess what? McDonald's has already implemented electronic tellers into their restaurants. You know why? Because you don't need someone there behind the counter. You don't need someone there behind the counter. All you need to do is walk up to a computer, a machine, right, and just type in your order, and then they make it for you. And come to think of it, humans don't even have to work in the restaurant. All the burgers at McDonald's are made exactly the same way. This isn't, it's kind of made to order, but it's not really. So in actuality, you might only need like 2 humans working in McDonald's, making sure that everything's running right, and then the rest of everything is run by machines. Think about how many businesses, now think about this, think about how many businesses could be run exactly like that. And now you're saying to yourself, well, wait a minute, if you're going to nix out all of these jobs, then where does their money go? Because they were once employed, all of these different places employed these people. So where's their paycheck? Where does their money go? Well, they just do other jobs. Remember, because I said, we're behind the world technologically, pretty much behind everyone. We've got things to do in this country. We've got a lot of rebuilding to do in this country. Infrastructure, high-speed rails, even pneumatic tube systems, subways, tunnel systems, underwater trains, like I said, solar power, electric power, wave power, tidal power, right? We have got a lot of stuff to build in this country. So you take all of these people who are working these jobs that just require them to show up, and wham, you put them on other projects. All of these other projects that would go into literally rebuilding the country, that's where they're working now. You see what I mean? They don't lose their jobs, we just transition into more meaningful jobs. And then what we do is we let machines, even in a job like me, like mine, where I do like maintenance and like cleaning and stuff like that, right? We let machines take over these jobs to do all the jobs that humans did as physical labor, because we can't afford physical labor anymore. We just can't do it. We can't do this back-breaking, arm-breaking, neck-breaking, knee-breaking work anymore. But you know who can? Machines that don't get tired. Production jobs, warehouse jobs, food service jobs, so many jobs. Even when you think about it, the high-speed rail itself would be run by a computer. There's no driver, it's a computer, right? It's time to let these machines actually take over all of these jobs so that as humans, we can focus more on creative things, right? Things, designing more technology for the future. Dreamers, designers, imaginators, artists, movie makers, filmmakers, musicians, right? That's what the world needs more of right now. Human beings need to focus on that side, saving the planet, right? Saving the planet. That's what human beings need to focus on. Not carrying 50-pound bags of cement through a construction site or working in cubicles. That's not productive anymore. That's time wasting. That's just time wasting stuff. You know what I'm saying? Obviously, we keep the jobs that are actually productive to society, right? But we nix out all of these jobs that are not, and then we replace them with jobs that are literally going to rebuild the country. So yeah, I mean, a lot to think about there, and yes, this did all spark from getting called into work today. It did because sometimes that happens to me. Like I'll have this small event happen to me in my life, and I'm like, and it'll just spark this whole rant. I have to come in here. I got to turn on the camera. And it's just something to think about because and I'm interested to hear from you guys too. Like, do you guys think I'm completely crazy? Do you think no, like we're machines, as much as that sounds convincing or whatever, machines are never going to take over. We always need humans at these jobs. We're always going to need them. Or do you guys find yourself agreeing with me, saying like, yeah, you know what, dude, you're right. We need more machines to take over so we can let humans do human activities, which is, I think, the ideal life. I mean, think about how life would be ideal if we didn't have these backbreaking jobs to go to, because then we would be doing things productive and we would have plenty of time to spend with people and with family and live our lives. So, leave all of your thoughts and opinions down below in the Great White Void, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the next vlog. Later.